The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. It's brought to you with Levi Solicitors. There's a 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/The Square Ball. Dan Moylan with you, Michael Normanson, and Moscow White as well. Daniel Chapman, TSB Plus. This week we've got more Championship Manager on the way. We're going to do a debrief of Rob's trip to Castellon. He went to see Pablo, didn't he? So look out for that later in the week. I think he's on his way back.
He touched him. I've seen a picture.
Really?
Yep.
Has he spent a night in a Spanish cell or?
Nope, I think it's healed all ailments.
Excellent. thesquareball.net/plus to get the extra shows over on the Extra Ball. You get priority access to the match ball. Loads of other benefits, including a daily email from Moscow and or Rob. Mm-hmm. It's very, very good indeed. That's that done. Let's get into the Leeds news then. And first up, we have a Liverpool game that's kicking off on a Saturday night. I mean, Strictly's. I'm going to watch Strictly now.
It's a new time, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Games don't kick off at this time on a Saturday.
They very occasionally move them there, don't they? I've seen a Championship game or two be put there, but it's not
a Championship. That's a pathetic league.
It's not one of the recognised broadcast slots in the UK. Is it 7:45 on a Saturday?
Have they given a reason? Was it just to fuck with people?
Yeah, the horrible bastards of the Premier League.
It's not. I'm going to guess it's not police advice, given it gives people a clear 12 hours of drinking if they really want it,
and no way of getting home.
Off. Yeah,
so
I think as far as Manchester,
just roam the streets. Yeah,
so that's fine.
Which is also another policing benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but what the fuck?
The only train back that's available to you after the game finishes, if you are heading over there, is via a night on the platform in Manchester, Piccadilly.
What time does it get into Piccadilly?
It takes about 30, 40 minutes or something for, I don't know.
So it's after it's sort of 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
I'll have a look. I may still have the train line out.
Because basically you can spend 12 hours drinking in Liverpool, watch the football, fight your way to the station, get a train to Liverpool just in time for like one last hour in all the nightclubs.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
One by one.
I will
just outside them all.
Pull the details up for you now.
We've covered it. I've made my point. We don't need the actual...
Have you done the joke?
Yeah, people won't need to know what... So which platform should I get to cause this football trouble?
What? Why is this
there won't be any trouble. There'll just be a lot of really tired people with no way of just going to simply watch a football match.
There probably will be some
Fucking
trouble.
hell.
Yeah, but no more than average.
Northern Powerhouse, Liverpool Lime Street, 2338, Manchester Piccadilly, 0034. So it's taking just shy of an hour. Oh, it's stopping everywhere. Good God, you've got to go to Warrington and Widnes and all sorts of places.
Like our walk we did. Lovely it was.
Maybe that's the only way of getting back, isn't it? Walk from Liverpool to Leeds.
I did see a thing the other day about a plane that's going to get you from London to New York in 90 minutes. Although admittedly they haven't
called Concorde?
No, admittedly they haven't built it yet.
Right.
They've got a plan for it though. Like
it's an Elon Musk thing.
It's going to be dead good, like when it's made. But it will still take about an hour to get from.
Teleporting would be a solution to fixture. It's being moved to inhospitable hours, wouldn't it?
Well, so you get into Manchester Piccadilly at 0034. You then leave Manchester Piccadilly at 08:27. You think, that's just shy of 8 hours. It's not. It's actually just shy of 9 hours because the clocks go back. So you get
brilliant.
You get a bonus hour at Manchester Piccadilly that weekend, and you get into Leeds at 9:30 the following morning.
That's
Addled.
Fine. That's fine.
The big story as well with this game having originally been on Sunday and then Saturday, and I think when they moved it to Saturday, they did say we're not going to tell you the kickoff for a while. We're going to keep that as a surprise.
Secret.
But I don't think anybody saw 7:45 coming. So people would have. First of all, I think people were wise enough. You don't know, but it's not even wisdom. It's just knowing that it's pointless trying to arrange anything for Sunday when it's probably going to get moved. Although if it's already on a Sunday, you might take that. Because you don't have to move them back to Saturday. So that's the first fuck up. And then Saturday, you're not going to guess at 7:45. So a lot of people go, okay, well, if it's Saturday, it could be a lunchtime kickoff. It could be 3 o'clock. It could be 5:30. Yeah. So there's...
it could be 11:30 at night.
But there's a range of possibilities there within which you could safely book your sustainable, environmentally friendly mode of transport to and from the game. And then... they shove it to 7:45, and not only are you losing your money on your tickets, but then you're then faced with finding an alternative way of getting there, which is probably for a lot of people to just be driving. So then any kind of ecological benefit is out the window because all those any train journeys turn into car journeys. And you're also, it's going to be difficult for pubs this winter to pay all their energy bills, and having, 12 hours of drunken Leeds fans spending money behind the bar would help, but not if half of them are driving.
Yeah.
So if they were all on a coach or all on a train, then fine, you can cater to them and you get some money into the local bars that need it. No, not anymore, because loads of people have got to drive. It just makes something difficult that should be easy, going to watch a football match.
Because there's obviously the contrarians who've gone, well, just drive then if you don't want to get the train. Yeah, but that's not the point, is it? You're removing options from people who like to go have a nice time.
The annoyance is, it's just, who is this for, is the thing. Because the people who go to the game should always be top priority, in my opinion, because that's what makes it look good. And that's what makes football good.
This is for the San Francisco 49ers and the owners of Liverpool, who can both watch it in comfort during Saturday afternoon.
Will it be Saturday afternoon over there? I suppose it will be. Even both coasts.
It'll be about lunchtime on the West Coast and mid-afternoon or whatever, tea timey on the East Coast.
It is the East Coast, West Coast rivalry. This, isn't it? San Francisco against Boston.
R.I.P. Tupac and Biggie.
They're with the Angles now.
Yeah, they are with the Angles. Onto the ownership, actually. We've heard from Angus again. He's still doing his programme notes.
He is.
Which is good. Less contentious issue this time.
Yeah, it was quite funny, really. He's talking about how the ball's never in play, and then it was in play for 51 minutes. But thankfully...
all sorted that now, isn't it?
He said the referees have had a word. They're looking at this, and it's going to get sorted out just after the weekend. Yeah. They've then brought it in for this weekend.
It takes time to implement anything, doesn't it? They can't do something as wild as that straight away, even though they said they would.
Jesse said the same. Jesse was quite amusingly narked about it as well. He was like, I didn't want this meeting.
They took up 90 minutes of our time.
They wanted a meeting with us to talk about this, and then they've done that. Yeah. So, well done. And he's right. Don't waste my time with this stuff and then not do it.
Where do you sit on the Orta to Chelsea thing then? Because that's been swirling around for a week or two. Feels a little bit like, because we'll get on to Radz going out to San Francisco in a second, but maybe they're out there agreeing Victor's pay rise, if that's what it's to be, to keep him. Would you?
He's got to get through the interview first, hasn't he?
Well,
he was on a short list of 4.
There seems to be a kind of when he was chatting to them about Rafinha potentially going there, that Bowley's liked him, taking a shine to the way he's conducted himself or whatever, and thought, I'd give him a job or whatever.
But then he's also tried to get the guy from Fizzy Salzburg, who used to work with Marsh first, and he turned them down, and he went for somebody else, and they decided not to come. So they've tried a lot of Germans, essentially, first, because they're regarded as experts in the field, and now gone down to this short list, which includes Orta, another couple of Germans.
It's his 10-2 option.
And his mentor, Monchi, is on there as well, the ones that they want to actually speak to. But he's by no means their first choice. But, I mean, Todd Bowley's first choice was himself, so that maybe tells him something about how that job's going to go.
I wonder if Monchi is on that list just because Orta's mentioned him as being his inspiration. So Bowley's got out his piece of paper and gone, right, Monchi, write that one down. I'll see if I can follow that one up, see if he's any good.
How'd you spell it? Okay, good. It's weird, isn't it, with Orta, because
he's written down Munchie.
He still seems to have really split Leeds fans. I think if you were to ask if he'd done a good job, I think you'd get about 50-50 split, probably.
Which
is maybe unfair.
Particularly this season as well, because the players that we brought in this summer all seem pretty popular. I don't think anybody... Christensen's the only one where it's a bit 50-50, and we're waiting to see. Obviously, it's been a dull month with no action and then a shit game to bring them all back. But Sinistera looks like a superstar immediately. Everybody's happy with Aronson and Adams. Rocker's got a beautiful passing ability, and these all look like very good signings. And then the two problems are the players that we don't sign. So we have that thing of pursuing Charles de Ketelaere and Hakpo.
Yeah, we're getting told off for this now.
And not getting them.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, can we say Gakpo, because that's how we pronounce a G in this country. But the native pronunciation is Hakpo.
And then the other thing is the whether we'll ever get anywhere by only ever doing like 0 net spend and not pushing the boat out to spend more than we have. But for the job he's actually done this summer to replace Phillips and Rafinha with those players essentially for free is actually, if you in cold light of neutral support, it's pretty good work. we've got 5 good players, but from the first few games that we've seen of them, none of them look like duds. Christensen, even if we're not sure about him, doesn't seem like he's on a Firpo level of failure. The fact that we have got Firpo...
He did also sign Firpo.
Yeah, the fact that we've got Firpo and Rodrigo hanging on the place, and that we had Lawrence de Bark, and we had those...
And Cass still haven't ruled on Big Kev.
Yeah.
But there are going to be failures, though, aren't there? That's the thing in any club. Man City have, signed Calvin Phillips, who was a complete dud,
And then,
for example. But they're doing fine.
There's the work with, because if you remember when we had the under-23s, now 21s, are so slickly organised now that they could make Amazon. It's not a documentary, it's just a behind-the-scenes thing, isn't it? It's a reality show. But they can make that and say, oh, look how good and proper this is. The reason we signed so much kind of youthful dross when Victor Orta turned up was because we didn't have enough players to field an under-23 team when Radz and co took over from Massimo Cellino. So to get from that point to this point, that's been the other side of Victor Orta's work as director of football, that it's the fact that within a season, Thorpe Arch, the pool had some water in it. The walls had been painted. It started to look more like a training ground again. All that stuff is kind of on his record as good work. And then in the other column is the way that because he has a personality and it is distinct, that's always going to. Some people will like that, and some people won't, and some people like bits of it, and some people won't like other bits of it. Like, I quite like his passion. I don't particularly like him shouting at Leeds fans at Brentford, although I kind of understood that they'd gone and shouted at him and he was going to shout back.
It's the same with Kinnear's programme notes as well, isn't it? Like, you're either going to like some of it or not.
Basically, as long as things are going well on the pitch, you can more or less get away with it, can't you?
But if you're beige, then you just don't get as much attention, do you?
I suppose from our point of view, if Victor Orta did go to Chelsea, we're not going to replace him with another Orta, because I think he's probably one of a kind in that respect. So one maybe positive, well, I don't know if it would be positive or negative, but the aspect would be a complete sort of change of style, of having a completely different character in that job, and maybe
still available?
A fresh approach could work or not, but it feels... the point was made about the youth players, Sonny Perkins, Darko, JB, and whatever his role is, and bring those in with Craig Dean. All that stuff looks quite healthy with these high-profile duds, and whether it would be a change at this point, whether you like him or not, is going to be positive, is difficult, because it feels like a job half done. Got us to this point, and then we're waiting to see who is going to burst through, whether Gelhardt is going to, whether Nonto is now ahead of him for whatever reason, how Perkins comes in, and Matteo Joseph, and what's Archie Gray going to become, and all that kind of stuff. That
it's a bit formless at the minute, isn't it? Yeah.
The conditions have been created for that to be a situation in the background where we've got quite a lot of good young players coming through, and we've got players like, we've just started on the selling part of the thing where Rafinha and Calvin Phillips get sold. So we're still only just begun on this cycle. So it's almost like we need to keep him around to sell Meslier. And if Robin Koch sells good, to sell Robin Koch for a lot of money. And whether changing the person in the middle, it's the same way I feel about the ownership in general. Like, all the faults that Radz has, and whether you want him to, whether he can invest more, and whether there's a logjam with the 49ers. Do we need a bunch of upheaval at this point when it's hard to say how much more a club in the bottom half of the Premier League can achieve? If we stay 12th, it's a bit underwhelming. I guess basically, if we stick to what Victor Orta said last week in Spain about being consolidating 12th to 14th this season, 10th to 12th next season, and then permanently top 10 after that, with aiming to get into Europe from that point, which is pretty much what they've been saying all along, of this kind of building it sort of 3 years to... They gave them 5 years to get promotion, did that in 3, and then it's 2 years to stay in the Premier League and then start building towards top 10. So they've been quite consistent on this kind of slow process. It's whether we have the patience for a slow process. It's also whether stopping a slow process and trying to do something faster works. Because you look at the money, Aston Villa came to us with a with hundreds of millions of pounds worth of players in their squad and were worse than we are. So I don't know how much I want to sort of shake the tree.
Not right now. It don't feel like it, does it?
No.
Well,
we may not have any choice if the San Francisco 49ers decide what
we'll come on to them
they want to do.
Yeah, we'll come on to them in a sec and just say about the 21s, which is one of the areas that he's been working on. Flying again at the minute in the Premier League 2 Division 2. Is that where we are now?
Something like that.
Yeah.
The easy one.
Yeah, the easier one.
The one in which we've scored 24 goals in 6 games.
Yes.
Stokes goalkeeper, a karate champion.
Maybe should go back to it.
Maybe.
From what I saw, he was at fault for a couple of these.
A black belt in goalkeeping.
Yeah, it was.
The second one was hilarious. So he sort of passed it to the side, and then he saw it was Matteo Joseph bearing down on him, and he's kind of just like veered away and just left him to it. It's like, he's a pretty big lad, him. I think I'll just.
No surprises that Derby are bottom of this particular division as well, because their whole thing's just been decimated, hasn't it?
Yes. Good. 0 points, minus 15 goal difference.
Funny.
Derby, Forest, Stoke, Sunderland, Villa, Newcastle, West Brom, Southampton, Norwich, Middlesbrough, and Leeds United top of the tree, going up.
Yeah, we do seem to be pissing this league so far, and Joseph and Perkins both seem, and Somerville when he plays in it, probably the best players in there, and Pat Bamford when he played in it was quite good as well.
And, even Sean McGurk and Charlie Allen both played well in this game. Cody Drammer had a good match as well. I think we bullied their left back and goalkeeper, which was Charlie Allen's side, and then McGurk with his new
all the big boys.
His new short haircut was pretty good in the second half. He came off the last half hour, 20 minutes, but he was pretty good.
And they're in action in the old PJT, not to be confused with the JPT of years gone by. Papa John's is tonight, Tuesday, as we record this. Tranmere. What's this? If you put this on you can actually get 2 points in this game.
I'd forgotten about this.
Is that for trying dead hard?
I know. Because I think last year we ended up predicting we'd get 2 points in some games, so we thought we might win, but we weren't sure. But in this, if it's a draw, you get a penalty shootout at the end, and then whoever wins that gets an extra point.
Oh, interesting. All right, Joffy.
What a pointless,
interesting.
What a pointless quirk of a competition.
One word.
Again, Sean Harvey. Joffy. He's just this weekend, just fallen between the cracks a tiny bit, hasn't he? You're talking there about, a process in transition, Moscow, that he's kind of sort of 1 foot in the 21s, but really he's first team squad. And he didn't play for the 21s against Stoke, but then wasn't on the bench against Villa. No injury, no performance issue. There just wasn't room for him. So
we said all summer that we said
the pathway.
Kinnear said he didn't want to block Joffrey's pathway. So what we've done is we've signed someone who's blocked his pathway straight away in old Nanto.
It is a bit cake and eat it. This, isn't it? Because imagine if we had signed Hakpo or Bamba Dieng, like it's the same thing. They would have been ahead of Gelhardt in the pecking order, and then now Gelhardt is not in the squad. Everyone's like, well, what the hell's happening? Why isn't Gelhardt playing? It's like, well, and it was sort of my feeling about whether we needed a striker or not was.
There's a young lad at QPR, Moscow, you might have heard of him. He's doing well, seems to be making all the headlines in that EFL division. We should maybe take a look at him.
Get him off the pathway and he improves dramatically.
Yeah, Tyler scored, didn't he?
He did, bless him. Slid one in the back post. First league goal. So
the other one he scored, I think, which was maybe it was in the League Cup. He absolutely spanked it in, didn't he? It was a good goal. So good on him.
Miss hit it. Now let's be nice to Tyler.
God bless him. And then finally, we'll wrap up this section after we on the 49ers after we dealt with the women who are back to winning ways at Bradford. Yes. Laura
Bartup. I was trying to work out. I think it might have been her first game of the season, but 2 good goals.
I'm sure she scored this season already.
They kept saying she was back in the side, so maybe she's missed a few. But she was good, and then that puts 2 up, 2 thumpers. And first one.
Kicking it hard into the net, Michael. You pleased with that?
Textbook stuff.
Yeah. Textbook.
Yeah, dead hard. Kick it as hard as you can.
The first one had some.
She might be able to kick it harder. I don't know, but it looked hard
and quite delicately for the first one as well.
Delicate footwork, but then a good hard kick to finish.
Viduka-esque.
Yes.
But and then the last they closed it out. We conceded a penalty to Bradford.
Never a penalty.
2-1.
It was definitely a penalty.
But Carrie Simpson made some good saves in the last 10 minutes to win a local derby that they dedicated to Chris Bennett, who was the chairman you spoke about last week, who had passed away. So a better weekend for the Leeds United women than the first team anyway.
Yes. Right then, to San Francisco, the Bay Area Q&A. We've had no sort of feedback on this, and the reason we bring it up is because Parag Marate was there as the guest ahead of the Leeds Villa game. They opened up Levi's Stadium, the 49ers Stadium, which they won in the old Gridiron?
They did a bit of that last night. Yeah, I've not caught up with it yet, but apparently my boy Debo Samuel was up to his skillful tricks yet again.
And Jimmy G doing whatever he does. Well, I've no idea because I didn't watch it.
Jimmy G has to because Trey.
Is that Genie G's brother?
Trey Lance's ankle got turned around for his big season, so it's all been. They've had a bit of a messy start to the campaign.
Let's not get into it. They opened up Levi.
It's a fun sport. It's fine.
They opened up Levi Stadium for the Bay Area.
Field of Jeans.
The Bay Area lot got together over there on the West Coast and did a Q&A with Parag Marate of 49ers and 49ers Enterprises, which is the bit of them that owns a bit of us, and so on and so forth. It'd be interesting to find out what was said there. Parag, very, very sort of smooth and doesn't give a lot away. Radz wears his heart on his sleeve a little bit more. He was there as the surprise guest because he was in San Francisco doing business, wasn't he, over the weekend? Signing the contracts, maybe. Who knows?
Is that what it was?
I've no idea. I'm speculating wildly.
That's big speculation, is that?
If the Q&A got that and they've just started it, that would be...
when you're looking at doing ownership change, I've just done it.
Yeah.
Just signed it. Yeah.
Maybe I'll sign an NDA because he ran his mouth off.
Radz says, I'm just here to watch now. Don't have nothing to do with me whatsoever. Ask Parag, everything.
There you go, then. Part 1 of the show done and dusted with the Palace preview still to come as well, and we'll pick the week's hero and villains. It's on the way for you in a bit.
The Square Ball Podcast.